Привет из Дубая! С вами передача «ГолубьМира», где разбираем крутые навыки. Спрашиваем на английском, отвечаем на русском. Подтягивайте язык или смотрите перевод в тайм-кодах. Let's talk about scenario analysis and let's start with the definition.
Scenario analysis is very complex skill, and usually we started on the third year of education in School of Troubleshooters. Main idea of scenario analysis is to predict which roads could be happen in your project, in your conversation, in your negotiations, to calculate the probability of your success on each stage, and to know how to move in these roads to make right course and to make the right track.
And if you look into the skill, like what are the things that would be fundamental for it, and what are the things that actually would be not only fundamental but building blocks that it consists of?
This is a very boring skill because the theory would be very light and everyone is saying, oh, it's so easy to implement. But when you make your examples which are provided by the teachers, it is easy because they will help you to understand how many разветвлений, divisions,
branches
do you have in this case. But in your personal life, there are a lot of, for example, you're going to buy a car, but you have no driver license at all. Okay, what would happen in the future? How you will move your car to your flat or to your house? How you will go to drive without these documents and so on, and no one think about it. And when it happened, everyone is thinking, okay, I was making a mistake. But when you make the mistake, you make mistake when you're trying to make something without a prediction of the roads. So you don't think what will occur. There is a real life, and there are things you want to happen, but some of them will happen without your knowledge and without your will.
And as I said, on the surface, it might be seeming like pretty much easier to kind of look into it. Basically, we just could think of all of the possible scenarios. But what is the kind of the process we need to follow in order to prepare to even to think about like what is the scenario, like how we can go there, like who we are, where we're located, and what exactly we want to achieve. So how the preparation to even proceed with the scenario analysis will look like.
You don't need to be arrogant, and you should be like a foreseer. So you should at every stage think what would happen best and what would happen worst, and then you should find something in between. So there are binary trees which turn you left and right, but in real life there are a lot of in between. So you should use at least three set of branches for every move you make. And there is also one important thing. You could not use слишком мало времени, too less, too few.
Not too much time.
Not too much time. So you should spend for each situation at least several times, not in one day, but for example, 20 minutes, 20 minutes, and 20 minutes. So 1 hour in advance will not help, but 3 times by a third of this time will help.
So, and if we look into it as some sort of like a binary tree view, that tends to be like a very small at the beginning and probably but the end, it will be like a humongous. So what will be the approach like when we decide like when to stop or when to cut certain variables because we will realize they're insignificant, and how to deal when we do have like so many cases that we need to process all of them and all of them will be significant enough. So how to deal with the capacity?
You should have on the paper first your tree, and then you should place it in your brain, and then you should understand in each step, in each phrase you are saying or you are listening, in which position you are staying. Usually your opponent will not have the same picture in the mind, so it will be a bit easier to move him or her to another node, to move to a way which is suitable for you. But anyway, there are several roads which are not useful for you. They are going to fail and to losses, and just several will go to the win. And this is a very small probability that you will get exactly to your win points. So you should see this dark dark space, which would be like 80% of your tree, and you just trying to make your losses as small as possible. So we are going not to win, we are going not to lose too much. If we will win, okay, this will be like a surprise. This will be like a bonus. But if we lose a lot of, this will be not compensated by anyone.
And when we other participants, or maybe let's just call them like players or actors, should we always consider them as a part of our tree view, or we also could flip the table and think like how their decision tree may look like? Maybe probably there will be a certain like a symmetry and the similarity, but we probably may want to complicate it by adding maybe few more actors, and this where I do believe it's might be complicated. So the question is like, do we need to do all of this exercises, or one point of view with a couple of actors in one direction in one road will be enough?
When I was a student and I was dealing with artificial intellect, I was asked by my research team to understand, is it better to make several tree views or just single one? And I found that better to have a single one, because it will be longer, but it will be not so complicated. There is a principle which I love: keep it simple, stupid. The one tree is much easier to manage than with several, because they are multiplying stages and multiplying variables, which are too complex to think in your mind. But not on all negotiations you could use your laptop. For example, if you have quarrel with your spouse, it is not suitable to use laptop. It will be funny, and maybe it would be even arrogant. But if you are going to make a single tree, you should always think that your opponent will make the best move for himself, for opposite side, and if you will have answer for all these best moves by your opponent, you will have the clear vision how many chances do you have in this particular situation.
And when we actually talking about as we were speaking before, it seems that tree view could be very simple when it comes to the graphic representation of it, again, on the surface. But what are the different levels people might be of the skill people may obtain in order to ace this skill?
The smallest tree I ever built, it was 8 levels. And if you know binary logic, you should understand that 8 levels is equal to 2 in степень.
Level, probably.
2 in level 8, and it is goes like in 256 situations. So it is a long way to make all of them calculatable. But in real life, there could be like 10 or even 15, 16 levels, and it make your tree too big. And if you are just rocky or novice, you should use something like Visio. If you are experienced, you could just write these terms and understand which are not suitable for you, and you should avoid them at any cost.
So besides of this mistake, what other things people might be making in order to actually screw all of the calculations and maybe not considering certain factors? So what are the things the one who is trying to make a decision or trying to predict the situation should be avoiding?
You know, this is a very funny thing, but all scientists and all researchers, they think that we are too realistic and we have a ratio, but this is a big mistake. Usually people don't want just to win. Sometimes they want to проучить somebody. Проучить? To give a lesson.
Give a lesson, yeah, to teach a lesson.
To teach a lesson. And this is not about ratio. And in this case, sometimes people will harm themselves, maybe with a big cost, but to put someone in a very strong position.
And last question will be how knowing about the scenario analysis would help make this world a better place.
For me, scenario analysis may be the most wanted lesson in troubleshooter's life, because it helped me, I don't know, several hundred times to выплыть, to swim out from the
To get out
to get
or
out
get away.
from the some tornado or some other tough things. But usually you do not want to make this calculation and to draw this tree, because you know this will takes you too many times and you will be too exhausted after you will finish it. Yes, you will know all the roads, but you will spend maybe in 100 times more than is needed just for negotiations. And your chances to be winner, they will be increased not more than 3 times.
Никогда не думайте, что может быть много дорог. Заранее просчитав ситуацию, вы можете увидеть множество маленьких тропинок. А мы рассмотрели сценарный анализ и чем он полезен именно вам, тем мира.